Welcome to the Genius Hour Timeline Overview. We're going to take a look at the instructions for completing this component of the project with specific details. So here we have a copy of the Genius Hour Timeline directions. This is included as a link in Blackboard. You will be submitting this project through a Feedback Fruits review process so that you can submit your work and I can provide feedback, and then you can take the feedback and see if you need to revise this. So this step is the step where you are going to make a schedule. You're going to set your deadlines for completing all the tasks that you need to do between now and the end of the course to complete your Genius Hour project. So what should be the format for this? I really don't care how you share your plans. I will suggest some different tools in a moment. But really, this should be a helpful guide for you. So as you're working on this project, you're making sure you're completing all of the tasks that need to be done on time. So no matter what format you use to present this timeline, I do need a list of all the essential tasks that need to be completed. So this needs to be very specific, include all the tasks. So as I look at this timeline, I should know exactly what it is that you're doing. Please put the tasks in chronological order of when they need to be completed, and please assign a due date for each task. Be realistic with these dates, but please don't say that all of the tasks will be done by the time the project is due, because that is not helpful in guiding you through your progress. So each task should have its own distinct date. And then if you are working in a group, who in the group is responsible for each task? Please don't put both for everybody, because it's obviously that some things have to be done by one person or the other. If you're working in a group, it's really important that each individual in the group has specific responsibilities. They should be indicated in your timeline. Also add a area where you can leave yourself some notes about each task. Okay, here's some tools that you might consider. These are some free tools that you can use to create timelines, TimeToast, Canva, but many students just like to use a Google Sheet or an Excel sheet. If you just want to give me a document with a chart on it, that's fine too, whatever works for you. There is no requirement for a specific tool. This is an example of an Excel spreadsheet with all of the tasks, the dates the tasks were started, the due date, the team member assigned, and a note area. Now, I don't have tasks filled in, but you really do need to be very specific with all of the tasks, start to finish, that you need to complete. So when I look at it in the Feedback Fruits review process, if it's lacking specific details, I will give you feedback and I will ask you to resubmit it, because this timeline really is not helpful unless it is thorough and specific. Now let's start with some examples. We're going to start with a poor example, a mediocre example, and then we'll take a look at a good example. Yeah, so this would be a very non-specific, undetailed example. 2 steps, 1 deadline, really have no idea what's happening in this project. Now in this one, we see a little more detail. There's more tasks, there are some due dates, but it really lacks organization. From looking at this, I'm really not sure what the outcome of this project will be. The final product for this project was a website, but there's nowhere on this timeline indicating information about the design of the website. I really just need to know more to know if the student can stay on track with this timeline that was submitted. Now take a look at this one. This one gives some very detailed week-by-week list of tasks that need to be completed. This student was preparing a public service announcement video, and you can tell step by step what needs to be done to get to that end product. This is the kind of detail that I'm looking for in a timeline, although this might be helpful if the student had included a space for comments as she was working through the timeline. So here's the timeline assignment in the module. You'll see the feedback fruits review assignment here with your timeline. And you'll see an area where you can download and print a copy of the requirements for the timeline if that is helpful as you're preparing this. To enter that assignment, you're going to click on the title and you'll have to launch because it's taking you to an outside tool. This is the instructor's view, but you will see something very similar when you enter as a student. All the directions that we just discussed are here. You will be submitting your copy of your timeline, what you create as a document. It could be a PDF, could be an image, a JPEG if you need it to be, or it could be a Word document. You're going to submit it here. I will give you feedback on it. I will be able to write comments on your copy. You will need to return to this assignment to review my feedback. This won't happen this week. This will happen next week. So you have a deadline to have your timeline submitted by this Sunday. Seeing my review comments obviously can't happen until I can review them. So that is the limiting factor there, but I will let you know when the review is ready to happen. Then I will ask you to come back and review. You do receive points on this assignment for coming back and reviewing. Please let me know if you have any difficulty submitting this through Feedback Fruits. I really think just based on problems that students had in the past, it's really important to have an opportunity to submit it, get feedback, and then resubmit it if it needs to be resubmitted.